I believe that Haslam's completely have put all their eggs in the Barry DePodesta Stefanski basket.
A year from now, if I have to hear about how he's ramping up and getting ready to start week 7 or week 8, there's going to be issues. Cleveland Browns faithful, welcome back to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeffrey. Co-host next to me is Robert. We talk Browns. We just sit here. We go back and forth. Sometimes we have positive stuff today. Not today. I don't think there's anything that's going to be good about today. Maybe there's a silver lining. Maybe Robert will enlighten me. And it'll be maybe still be some positives to this episode. 2-7. Andrew Berry talking at a press conference. Za'Darius Smith getting traded. Jameis Winston throwing interceptions. I send it to you for opening comments here, sir.
Okay. Well, there's a lot to unpack right there. Yes, unfortunately, 2-7. Jameis did have a rough game. Za'Darius, he was gone anyways.
Correct.
I would have liked to have gotten a little more for him, but that's the best we could have gotten. The Barry press conference, I don't know what else we would expect from him, but here's what I take out of that press conference. I believe that Haslam's completely have put all their eggs in the Barry DePodesta Stefanski basket. I believe that when they made these decisions, the Haslams, of course, are billionaires, and they envy, of course, the Steelers. They envy the Chiefs, the 49ers. As much as we want to bitch and moan about Jimmy and D, they want to win. They don't want to be the clowns. They don't want to be this a doormat of a football team. And I genuinely believe that they believe with consistency and continuity, they will get there. If you would have listened, the only thing that Barry said that, in my opinion, was worth anything, when he made the comment about Stefanski being one of 13 coaches that's 2-time coach of the year, blah, 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 blah. Stefanski is a hell of a coach. I've said it on this show before. If they fire Stefanski, he won't be out of the parking lot in Berea, and he will get a job.
Agree.
Okay? Andrew Berry, from everything I've listened on the radio, and I'm not talking about these clowns here in Cleveland. Everybody in Cleveland has the answer, whether it's Grossi, Carmen, Mary Kay, blah, 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 blah. The national pundits, Andrew Berry is well respected, okay? Now, you guys are all going to laugh at me. I'm telling you, I believe that Jimmy Haslam, yes, we all believe, we all agree Deshaun was a colossal mistake. And I said probably a month ago on this show that somebody had to pay for Deshaun. But as I sit back and the more I watch, the more I listen, I'm telling you, I believe the Haslams, they want to win through consistency and continuity, and they believe in these guys.
That might be all fair and good, but if the Haslams can't help themselves from putting their hands in the cookie jar, none of that matters to me. At the end of the day, Barry, these guys have been well respected. Barry, Philadelphia Eagles, he has ties around the league, multiple different teams. He started with the Indianapolis Colts, came to us, then Philly for 1 year, back to us. Stefanski, 2-time coach of the year. I think the consensus, and even if it's a slim consensus, if that makes sense, is that Stefanski is the person to keep. I know a lot of people can't stand him, and that's every fan base. You're gonna have a handful of people who don't like the head coach, whatever. He should have gave up the play calling, blah, 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 whatever. I think more people following this on a line, more people would be open to getting rid of Barry. He can't do the next draft. We're gathering all these assets, 5th and 6th round picks. Don't let him take them. Amari Cooper's only good trade he's ever had. We know the head of the snake is the Haslams, but interestingly enough, I guess it's what you're expecting, but if you were on social media yesterday, after he had this press conference, this dude is getting ripped up and down the boulevard. Everybody's roasting him on social media, the Twitter timeline. Oh, he's word salad. He's not saying anything, blah, 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 non-answers on Watson. Everybody's roasting the guy, rightfully so. Does it come to a point where how much do you think the fan base really decides on the future of a franchise? Like, are you someone that says, okay, well, if a vast consensus of the fans aren't interested in this person being with the organization any longer, is that something you take into account as far as what are we going to do in the future with Andrew Berry?
Zero.
So are we going to keep him? Do you think we're going to keep him?
Absolutely.
He's going to draft in 25.
Now listen. As far as word salad and they're roasting him, what do you expect him to say? If he would have came out yesterday and said, yes, Deshaun is rehabbing and we fully expect him to be our starter week 1 next year, the whole city of Cleveland would have been mad. Nobody's buying tickets. We hate the son of a bitch. If he would have came out and said, well, Deshaun, he may compete for a backup job, you can't say anything. Barry, in my opinion, said nothing. He did a good job of doing what he had to do. Say nothing.
Why can't he say we're just moving on from him?
How can they move? But because you still owe the guy a boatload of money. You can't move on.
Oh,
here's what and I know. Watson's not going to play for the Browns again. Okay, maybe he'll.
I don't know that though. I don't know that. Uncle, you and me both know that this is going to be a 9 to 12 month rehab, and 9 months from now is going to be what? The August of next year. I'm going to hear, oh, he didn't have training camp last year. He's 85% right now. September, he'll be 90%. A year from now, let's put this down right here. A year from now, if I have to hear about how he's ramping up and getting ready to start week 7 or week 8, there's going to be issues because I don't know what you do next year. Maybe you're in the first sports situation that is unsolvable. Maybe you're just in that and we need to accept that as fans and we could talk about solutions and what should have went differently, but maybe it's just not realistic. Maybe it's just there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a solution. You can't get rid of him. You can't say you're going to start him. You can't say he's going to be the backup. He's just there. He just exists.
Well, okay, here's maybe week 7, maybe he's ready, okay? Maybe he's ramping up and he's available. But that doesn't mean you have to play him, okay? That doesn't mean you have to play him. You got to pay the guy. I don't know. You cut him. There's a setback. I don't know. But what did you want Barry to say?
But what evidence have you gathered so far that we wouldn't play him if he was healthy? There's none. They were riding that dude out there. If we were 1 and it was already too far gone. We were 1 and 6, and they were putting him out there. They would have put him out. They would have put him out there indefinitely for the rest of the year. We could have been 1 and 15. They would have put him out there for the last game.
Sadly,
Mary Kay basically said so, and we have our opinions on her. Obviously, what I love, and this is just kind of to hit the point again. General Manager Andrew Berry says all of us were on board for Deshaun Watson trade. Doesn't rule out him playing for the team again. You know what? I'm going to take, AB. I think the B is starting to stand for bullshit. And it's sad because I like the guy. You turn on people so fast. You got to give them a blah, blah, blah. Yeah, 2 playoff games, 1 playoff win in 5 years, whatever it may have. But this industry and this business moves fast. Like you don't have much time to sit around and wait and, hey, give me another season. Hey, give me another season. But it sounds like you're saying he's going to be making the draft picks in 25 in your opinion.
Okay. Now, yes. And let me say something else.
Please do.
I like, as much as the next guy, I love Baker. I wasn't crazy about the draft pick in the first place. I loved John Dorsey. I like Baker, but you know as well as I do, Baker had to leave Cleveland.
Correct.
Baker had, so I don't want to hear if we had Baker now. If we had Baker now. Baker had to mature, he had to grow up. Now, also, Baker had, look how Baker plays against the AFC North.
Yes.
I don't want to knock the guy. He's a hell of a player. He's a gamer. Great game Monday night against the Chiefs. He's 0-4 against Mahomes. But Baker is not part of the equation. Baker had to leave Cleveland. That's my opinion there.
The Baker Mayfield experience, Tampa's experiencing the Baker Mayfield experience. What were they? 3-1 or 4-0, and he was top of the MVP race. They're all of a sudden 4-5. So I don't want to hear about some average guy.
Right.
And like we're talking about, no disrespect to Baker. And whatever. You could pay, if he's a mid-level paid guy, that's fine. He won a playoff game here in Cleveland. Most of the city's always going to like him, even though the people that wanted to move on from him.
I wish Deshaun had half the heart Baker did. I will say that.
Correct.
Baker has, the guy lays it all out there. I love his heart. He's a gamer. I wish, and I'll never take that away from him. But he had to leave Cleveland to grow up.
The argument for Baker, for me, if you wanted to make a Baker argument in 2024, and we'll be done talking about him here shortly, but you just made the argument. If you're talking about the intangibles and the feel of the sports in the city, Baker Mayfield is a more representative football player of the city of Cleveland than a Deshaun Watson. So from what we've seen,
absolutely,
I think the Houston Deshaun Watson was totally different person, and he just, I feel like he actually loved playing the game of football back then, and he was actually a dude who went out there and put his body on the line for every snap. Not saying they didn't do that here, but just not good anymore. Just that's the reality of the situation. So
absolutely.
So what's your plan for this year? Is this year he's going to say go out and try to win games? Yes, they're not going to go out and tank. The NFL has really done a good job of nobody really tanks because you kind of can't. Everybody has their own interests. So let's talk a little bit through the end of this year, off season, bridge quarterback, draft. Let's hit it all kind of real quick right here. What your philosophy is looking like?
Okay, here's my philosophy. You're 2-7. I'm telling you right now, we stubbed our toe against the Chargers. The Chargers are a good outfit. That defense is Jameis was confused. We can't blame the whole game on Jameis. The defense had that was a mess. We will be, mark my words, we are going to be competitive the rest of the year. Jameis will be competitive.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you, I believe
we're playing defense. We haven't even played like some of the best defense we've seen all year. We got to see Pittsburgh twice. The Pittsburgh games, I'm telling you right now, they will not be competitive. I'm telling you this right now, and that goes against all my other philosophies. AFC North tight games, a gridiron battle. Those games, their defensive line is too good, Uncle. Those games are not going to be competitive. But go ahead.
Okay, I disagree. I think these 2 weeks, I really believe that we're going to dial it in a little bit and we're going to be competitive. Do I see us getting to 7 or 8 wins? Probably not. But so here's what I'm saying. We're competitive the rest of this year. Now, if we all could remember a long time ago, Dee Podesta was one of the architects of Moneyball. Let's dust him off from California, wherever he's at. Let's put him back to work, okay? Here's what we got to do. Don't tear the whole thing down to the studs. Maybe we move on from somebody's older, aging veteran, as much as we love Bitonio, as much as we love Njoku. Maybe we move on from some of those aging, bigger contracts. We have to draft well. I'm not saying go out and get reach for a quarterback in this draft. Here's what I'm saying. In 25, if it's not Jameis, here's what I'm saying. Go out, take a chance on maybe a guy that I love, and you're going to laugh at me, Sam Howell. Sam Howell is a guy that he'll move the ball downfield. Yes, he threw 21 touchdowns, but 21 interceptions last year on a bad Commodores outfit. He's sitting behind Geno Smith. If they don't bench Geno, Sam Howell may be a guy. Also, there's another guy who you're not going to love, but Marcus Mariota. Get a bridge quarterback. And don't tear this thing down to the studs. We could be serviceable. We could be 7 and 8 and 9, 9 and 8, and try to rebuild this thing on the fly.
If I got 2 scenarios for you, interestingly enough, because maybe Howell's in the discussion, maybe Mariota's in the discussion. As far as I'm concerned, with the info I'm operating with, Stefanski has never really picked a guy. Baker was here. Maybe, Stefanski got on the private jet with the Haslams and Andrew Berry and flew to Deshaun and had his little iPad and showed up, whatever. That's like, that might as well be a wives' tale as far as I'm concerned. That never happened as far as I'm concerned. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. Allegedly. Go this offseason, let Stefanski pick a guy for next year.
Yep.
First, then figure out have some real soul searching what you want to do with Watson. Hopefully you decide that he needs to get going or stay but doesn't play, whatever, doesn't see the field. If there's a guy in 25, look, if you're keeping this outfit intact, if there's a guy in 25 that Stefanski gives like a A- grade, go and draft them. If you're keeping Stefanski, you might as well just do everything through him, in my opinion. Barry, go around Barry, or through Barry, whatever you have to do. If there's not a guy in 25, then you have to do the Sam Howell thing. Then 26 comes around. Maybe you get a guy there. I'm not the consensus so far, I think, is that this quarterback class is really not that good.
Right. There's
always somebody who's good, but it's not like there's a clear consensus or 2-3 people at the top that like, all right, these are all going to be good guys. On the contrary, then I'll throw it back to you here before we wrap up. If you're blowing it up, I got a little bit of inspiration from this on Twitter. You're not going to like this. Vrabel head coach. I'm not endorsing this. I'm just saying if you were to do this, Vrabel head coach, call up Bill Belichick, say, look, are you interested in contributing to a NFL franchise again? If you have even a 1% doubt he's not, just hang up the phone. If he's on board, chief strategy officer, put him in D. Podesta's role. No coaching, no on the field, nothing. I want him looking at draft prospects. I want him being the scout. I want him running defensive schemes. I want him doing all the other stuff that is not on coaching day, and he don't need to be in meetings or anything. He could zoom in. D. Podesta's doing it. It's fine. That'd be my thing if you wanted to blow it up, because you got Vrabel in-house. You have head coaches in-house, but Schwartz doesn't want to do it. D. Podesta, he's been here since 2020. I get it. We've been in playoff games with him, whatever. I don't know. I think you're right. I think they're going to keep Barry and Stefanski, unfortunately.
Okay. I understand Vrabel. I don't know why everybody thinks Vrabel. I mean, first of all. Second of all, Belichick, he's got a 24, 23-year-old girlfriend. His eye isn't on football right now.
She'll know the trends. She's young.
Okay, maybe she'll know the trends. Second of all, nephew, if Belichick, in my opinion, gets involved with anything in football, he's going to want total control. That's why he told the Falcons, which the Falcons, the only way he was going to Atlanta is if the owner would shut up and get out of the way and let him run the whole outfit.
That's what we need.
And that's what we need. But do you think this game is evolving and changing? And I don't know if okay, Belichick and Saban, are they going to come back and save the Browns? They're 75 years old. Are you going to get Belichick to do what you just asked? I don't know. I think Belichick, the ego, he's going to want to be on the sidelines. He's going to want to run the entire. He's going to want to, from the equipment manager to the ball boy to the TVs in the workout room to the color of the carpet in the training facility. Belichick is going to want to control everything at 7, and he's going to hire you to keep an eye on his girlfriend. So how much? I mean,
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
But think about it. The farther away it gets, I just don't know. And I understand the man is probably one of the best of all time, but I just don't know. And I do get it because I said one of my pitches is, if you get rid of Stefanski and Barry, who the hell else are you going to get? And of course, the answer is Belichick and Vrabel. But I
why do you think they brought Vrabel in, though? Like, that's got to be somebody within the organization hedging their bets if Stefanski took a shit this year, which I'm not saying I'm not saying that Stefanski has lost us every game, obviously, but it's like, why else would you bring him in? That's why you hire defensive coordinators who have been head coaches in the past. Like, it doesn't really shake out like that in other sports, obviously.
Schwartz isn't going to be anybody's head coach.
Schwartz doesn't want to do it. That's your issue.
No.
Vrabel is sitting in Northeast Ohio for either the Ohio State job or the Browns job. There's no other reason that I can't think of another reason that makes logical sense as to why he would pick some like non-involved in game day coaching job with the team when he just had a head coaching job, unless he literally has just told people, I don't want to be a head coach for 12 months, for 24 months. That's the only other reason.
He's staying involved in the NFL.
But I think he's a lot better than some of these head coach, some of these interims. I think that the Jets would like him better than the guy running the outfit over there.
And I believe Vrabel, that he made a wise decision. Hey, I'm going to sit this year out, and I'm going to have better chances next year. Maybe not in Cleveland, because you got to imagine McCarthy probably isn't going to survive it. You knew Robert Saleh is going to be gone.
Yep.
I don't really I wouldn't take the Saints job. I mean, do you want to go to New Orleans? I don't think New Orleans, but I'm telling you, look out for Vrabel in Dallas. But I don't, if you say, I don't want Vrabel over Stefanski.
No, I don't want Vrabel over Stefanski either, but it's not the whole, there's no options is, it's 50-50 because, like I said, I don't know if Vrabel wants to do it, and I think it wouldn't be a bad situation for Vrabel. I would want to, if I was Vrabel, I would want to go to a team that has a good defense, a better defense than an offense. And I know that you got to look at you got a couple of models here, and then we'll wrap up. The Commanders. I think the Commanders are currently the most exciting and best model in the NFL as far as a young team. Defensive-minded head coach, rookie quarterback who's good, surround them with offensive minds. The offensive minds don't have control, though. Cool. Right. Love it. Of course, obviously, hate to say it, the Pittsburgh Steelers, good model. They're just a good model. And I don't even think their model's that good. They have Tomlin. I don't even think Arthur Smith is that good. I actually was calling up people saying Arthur Smith is a terrible hire. And I've been, I think, kind of half right. Cheap quarterback. What's the common denominator between both of those teams, though? The quarterback's making nothing.
Right.
Couple million.
Right.
So, yeah, we're 2-7. It's a mess.
Can you see, and they were talking about it here in Cleveland, can you see Justin Fields coming here?
I'd take a 1 year on Justin Fields. Easily.
They were saying, a local radio station here was going absolutely berserk. They don't want Fields. They don't want Fields. Now, let me say this. The Bears have been a train wreck. Fields got bad coaching. He played on a bad team there. The games he started in Pittsburgh, he was serviceable. Mm-hmm. If you could manage Fields, and I believe Stefanski can, I would be happy with him. Real quick. Hey, I don't hear everybody talking. Sunday night, that was a hell of a game. Joe Flacco didn't throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, right?
Right.
So, I'm not knocking Joe. I was going to wear my Flacco hoodie.
You're actually praising Stefanski.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but there's a lot to unpack there. The Vikings defense as well. Flores has got them fired up, but Flacco did not tear him up. So I wouldn't be mad with Fields. Back to that. But I don't know if you think Tomlin's going to do us a solid and give us Fields.
For the right price, I think. I don't know, or I don't know. It's all about what's his contract. I'd have to look into even his contract.
1 year.
Yeah, he's on a 1 year. Yeah, he's gonna be
Yeah.
free. Yeah, he's gonna be a free agent. We're not even gonna need. We don't even need to go through Tomlin.
But how long you think Wilson's going to play this good?
I think they're going to play him the rest of the year if he's healthy, regardless.
Yeah.
They're already locked in. We're already 9 weeks in. It's not like you got
Yeah.
a lot of time to maneuver around here. I mean, it's half the season, but I think Justin Fields, the quarterback play out of Justin Fields, I think is better than anything we've gotten this year.
Yeah.
And
he will provide a little excitement.
He's mobile. I mean, he's Deshaun Watson, but younger. Honestly, I mean, your hope for Justin Fields is that the top of his game is like Houston Watson. He could roll out to the pocket and run the ball. He's actually probably more mobile than Watson was in Houston.
As my kids would say, he's a T-move version of Deshaun Watson.
He's T-move. Oh my gosh.
T-move Deshaun.
Well, we'll wrap it up there on the T-move reference, but Uncle, great job as always. Browns 2-7. They stink. Cavs 9-0. Keep it locked in on the Cavs.
Locked in, man.
Guardians,
what a game last night.
Off season. Yeah, what a game last night. They're resilient. Atkinson, amazing. Everyone's playing good hoops over there.
I'm impressed with him. I love the rotation.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it's early, but these guys seem like they care. They're really trying. You know that?
They've always cared in the regular season, though.
Yeah.
They're young guys. They got to care.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are paid, though. I said maybe some of them wouldn't care, but we'll see.
And I really like what I'm seeing out of Ty Jerome, Sam Merrill.
For sure. Good.
And as much as I hate to say it, Georgie Niang is actually. I mean, I don't like the guy, but he's playing well.
George Niang mentioned him on the podcast. Love
on
that.
the pod.
Well, that's all from us. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe down below. Comment, Andrew Berry, lip service, Andrew Berry. And with that being said, we appreciate you being the pulse of it all. Peace.